Welcome to Founder Stories with Mona Juneja. This is the podcast you'll wish you found sooner. In each episode, I talk to founders who left their 9 to 5 to build their own business. They share mistakes, late nights, and the moments they almost gave up. If you have been thinking of starting something, these stories will give you the push you need. So let's get started. Hi, Azadá. Welcome to the Founder Stories podcast. It's my pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Mona. It's my honor to be here today.
Thank you. So, Azadá, let's get started with your introduction. Who you are, where you from, and what do you do?
My name is Azadá, and I live currently in Amsterdam. I'm going to move forever to Asia this summer, which is really exciting. And I am a content creator, and I'm a coach and trainer that helps women become really confident in themselves and address their boundaries.
Lovely. So, wow, you're moving forever to Asia, is it?
Yes,
That
very
must be so
exciting.
exciting.
I'm a little bit scared, must say honestly, because I'm really leaving everything that I've once known in my life, like the comfort zone. I'm gonna leave it forever, which is highly threatening to my mental comfort zone. But it's gonna be like the biggest growth spurt I've ever experienced in life, and I'm sure of that.
Well, I have left everything and moved to places 5 times now, and I can assure you there's nothing exciting and better than moving from one place to another. And I know you'll be absolutely fine.
Yes, my brain knows I'm fine, but my body feels a little bit scared. But I'm like, we're gonna do it anyway. Yeah.
Yes, I think this is one of the most scariest decisions ever which anyone can make.
100% agree. And I cannot wait for the amount of people from different countries I'm going to meet and the things that I'm going to learn. And I just know that the next level, they always say, like, here's your fear. And then the next level is outside of your comfort zone. And I know that it's there and I feel it. And I cannot wait.
Yes, and where in Asia are you moving to?
First, we're going to Vietnam. So never been there. So that's really exciting. I actually going there because you told me it's awesome. So you're the reason. And then after Vietnam, we're going to Thailand, Bali, where we've already been. And yeah, we're gonna go to China and Japan as well.
Oh, exciting. So I
Yeah.
am right now in Da Nang in Vietnam, where you're moving to, and I can't believe I told you and you're actually moving.
Yes, you told me. And 1 month later, I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's move there. And I discussed it. And my husband also told me he came at the same time, he came also with Vietnam. But I already told him also, like, hey, let's move there. So it was like a clash of meant to be-ness. And we said, like, let's book the tickets now and not think about it and just do it.
Wow, I love it, Azada. And for work, you empower women to get out
Yes.
of their comfort zone and do something which their heart desires, right? That's what you do.
Yes. Yes.
Before that, what were you? Did you ever have a 9 to 5 job?
Yes. Yes. Many actually. From the age of 16, I worked in restaurant shifts and I worked in clothing shops. I was a cleaner also. I cleaned toilets of people's houses. So I did basically everything. Bringing letters to like the mail order thing. I did basically every little job that earned a little bit of money. I did it. And I was extremely introvert and extremely shy. And that's basically where I felt safe. But eventually, I came across something on the internet, social media, that's called rejection therapy. And I was like, whoa, what the hell is that? I saw all these people doing weird things and doing things that make that's like super socially awkward, like asking people for stuff. And me as a then introvert was like, oh, that's like my worst nightmare. But I don't want to be like this person for the rest of my life. I want to be more. I want to be more social, have better relationships, and don't be scared all the time when in social situations. So I decided to do it, and that basically led me to the path of, being like so much more confident.
Wow, okay. So when I met you in Amsterdam, it was, I think, 2 years ago, or maybe it cannot be last year. It was 2 years ago, definitely, because I left Amsterdam last year in May. So it was definitely year before. you were helping people to do public speaking. And
Yeah.
I was then scared of public speaking. And I remember attending your event and speaking for 3 minutes. And that changed my entire view on public speaking. I also met another coach in Amsterdam who encouraged me to do public speaking. Basically, he said that whatever you're scared of, you should do it. Only then that fear will go. And I remember yours was the first event. And with that event, because I also posted on LinkedIn, I said, I'm really scared of public speaking and I'm attending this event from Azadá, which is on improving your skills. And I remember that changed like in my mind, how I see public speaking. Now I don't see it as fear, or now I see how I can share value, how I can share what I know with people. And in my mind, if I see it from that angle, everything becomes very much simpler.
Yes, I love that so much because I remember you were coming up to me also before, and you told me you were very nervous. And I thought it was just like, I thought you have such big balls because you did so amazing, Mona. And you told me that it was one of the first times or something you were on stage, and you did so good. I was like, holy shit, you really went for it, and you moved and you walked around, and it was just so entertaining, and it actually, how do you say, took my attention, and you kept the attention. And the thing that really stood out to me on your talk was the story. You told your entire life story from, like, in a conclusion, of course, and it was so inspirational. And I was like, wow, I cannot believe that I'm like hosting this event and I'm having all of these wonderful people here, but you don't know anything about them if you don't talk to them so much and hear their story. And at that moment, I absolutely loved your story and felt so much more connected. And we've been in contact ever since.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for giving that platform to me, because that was the platform where I uh, moved away from my fear in my mind, especially. And then it helped me progress a lot in life. So thank you. So you had multiple 9 to 5 jobs, and then in Amsterdam, you were helping people. Then I remember you also went to Bali and you hosted a lot of events. So what were those events? How did you arrange those events?
Oh, well, we went to Bali, and I had been there one time for holiday when I was like just working in my 9 to 5. I went to Bali for 2 weeks or something. But then now we actually went for business because I heard there's like a huge digital nomad community, and people are startups or making lots of money and building and creating stuff that's just amazing. So my husband and I, we were talking then, we were like, yeah, let's go to Bali for a few months and see what is going on over there. And at that time, I was hosting events in Amsterdam, which went really well. But I didn't really think about going to Bali, because when I would go to Bali, this is the thing that I actually forgot, is that I would not be able to keep up the events in Amsterdam. But at that time, I went to Bali anyway, and I started talking to people, and then people that are there for a longer time, they know each other, and they're like, oh, you need to meet my friend, and oh, well, come to this event. And then I went to a few events there, and I was like, oh, this is so amazing. But every single time I went to an event there, I was like, I miss a little bit of something. And not to be arrogant, but I thought I can make an event here for sure with so much more energy. And that is the thing that I, how do you say, build up on the most energy. That's like my entire events are basically energy. I want to make people feel the connection with each other because we're all having the same struggles and we all have same hopes and dreams. And if we just can connect with each other and be happy and share so much love, then that's like the most powerful thing ever. So I started hosting an event and just putting it on a site there that's popular. And so many people signed up. I was like, oh shit. It went so much faster than the Netherlands would ever go. And the first event had, I think, 20, 25 people. Next event had 50. And from there on, it was like in the hundreds. It was ridiculous. So much energy. And I remember my biggest event that I did there before we left, it was 155 people, and it was huge. There's so many people, and it was so crazy because I didn't expect so many people to show up. So we were in a smaller room, and then in the middle of the event, we needed to move to the rooftop terrace upstairs, which was officially closed. But I begged the location to please open it because there's too many people. So they opened it, and it was just the best thing ever. We had the best night. We networked, and it was a dream. It was amazing. Yeah.
So this means that Bali has a lot of demand for events like yours, right?
Yes,
And look,
100%.
no one is doing it. Or maybe if they're doing it, the energy is missing from those events.
Yeah. I believe I went to a lot of events, and a lot of events are good. I think the most thing, basically, the one thing people do wrong on events is that they share so much information because they want to give so much value on the event, which is really good, but don't do it because people come there and it's too much. I get overwhelmed with all of this information and I cannot remember anything because people ramble on with everything that you need to know, and it's really good information. But what people don't understand is people join because of the vibe more than of the information they get. So on my events, I make people stand up. I make them jump. I put on music. I make them dance, and we just go crazy. We jump. It's like a club, but then daytime. And then there's so much energy circling around. Then I get them to sit, and I'm like sharing value, and everything they like I'm sharing right now. They're gonna remember because there was so much energy, and their blood is pumping, their heart is racing, and there's this thing that happens when people move so much and go crazy and just get out of their comfort zone. It's that everything afterwards is just free. They're 100% free and they communicate with each other like they've known each other for years. Whereas if you share them like all the information, like, oh, welcome, we're going to talk about this and this, and then you share lots of information in a long talk, people get closed off more. And then, yeah, connecting with others is also difficult. They're more insecure, more nervous. It's more serious. Yeah.
Okay, so now, Azada, you have pivoted slightly, right? Before you were organizing events, and now you empower women, right? So let's talk about what you're presently doing.
Yes. Okay. So I did the events because my events are in person. It's really not handy with the lifestyle that's actually my dream, as in traveling the world and, yeah, creating something online. So I decided to go online. All the events, if I look back, there's this one red line that's going through all of my events, which is getting out of your comfort zone, confidence, and being socially connected to other people. So I decided to do that 100% for women because I wanted to niche down. I think men are also really good and they need it. However, not from me because I'm not a man, and I believe that I experience life way different than any man would ever experience it. I think we have similar issues, but with women, it's more that they don't feel really good enough, as men think less than women and they're less in their feelings. So when I did the events in Bali, also, I noticed that more women came up to me and they asked me questions specific to like womanhood and the things women struggle with more. And so I decided to go for women, and it's been amazing. It's the best decision ever for so far, and I can do it online. And there have been so many women that I've actually helped to get over their fear socially and push them to speak up at work, especially on 9 to 5 jobs where they have like a mean boss, or there's a coworker that's not really nice or gives like sarcastic things that they say to her. And then I give them like guidelines and especially actions that they need to take. Because I think you can brainstorm and learn everything, but the most important thing is actually doing it.
Yeah, I love that because a lot of coaches I meet, they always talk about what to do, but like nobody questions if they're actually implementing. And you are a great example of execution because I remember you went all the way to the US at this event, JT Fox's event, I think.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to network. That phase of yours was all about networking. How do I get outside? How do I get outside of my fear and network with people and ask questions? and you took that to that level where you traveled all the way to the US. And I love that about you. Do you want to tell our audience what was that journey like?
Oh, that was actually a crazy journey because I didn't plan on going to the US. And at that moment in time, it was like 2 years ago, I believe. I was very fresh in the entire startup thing. So I actually didn't have the money to go to the US. So I met this guy, GT Fox, on a network event. And he told me he's doing this massive event in the US. And he's like, yeah, you need to come. And I give you like a free ticket if you make the journey. Because I told him, I don't have the money right now to travel all the way to the US. It's like I'm gonna lose all my savings then, you know? And I just started my business, investing a lot of money in it. So he's like, if you find a way to make it, you get free entrance. So I was like, oh shit, pressure. So I decided to go all in. I hosted lots of events. I worked extra jobs here and there. And I had like, I believe 1.5 months to gather the money, but also for the hotel and also to stay there for a week. So it was like I worked almost 7 days a week or something, and I made it. And we went. The event was really cool. I met a lot of cool people. And honestly, the experience was just the most crazy thing. But I believe the most important lesson that I took from this entire situation is if you have a plan, an intention, and the deadline, it doesn't matter. You can literally do everything you want in the time that you give yourself. Because if I would give myself like 6 months, it would take 6 months to go to the yes. But if I told myself, okay, I have 1 month, I'm gonna fucking make it. And sorry for swearing, by the way.
Oh,
You
that's
can
okay.
bleep that. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try from now on not to swear. Sometimes I do, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna make it, then you're gonna make it within a month. And before that, I didn't have the confidence in myself that I could do things like this. And after I could. So you never know what networking and talking to people is gonna teach yourself about you, or it's gonna give you an opportunity for business, more money, a cool collaboration maybe. But I believe the most important things is what you're gonna learn about yourself, and especially how you're gonna expand your mindset towards a mindset where you can just do anything you want in the entire world.
Yeah. So are you still in touch with those people you met in the US? Yeah.
Yes, I am actually. Yes,
That's amazing. That's
yes.
amazing. You know, JT Fox also came in Amsterdam, and I don't know if both of us were in the same event, but I also attended one of his events in Amsterdam. And I think that time we did not know each other because he only hosted once 2 years ago. And I think you also attended the same event as I, but we that time we didn't know each other. That's why we didn't meet. But yeah, I remember his speech. His he has so much energy. It just made a lot of sense to me, and that was also a trigger point in my head, in my mind, where I said, okay, this is it. I need to get into public speaking. I need to speak, and I don't have to be scared of speaking in front of people. And since then, I've hosted. So whenever I travel to any country, I host events. So, for example, last year when we were traveling to Vietnam, I hosted quite a few events, and we were also in Georgia, hosted events. And I was able to host and speak in front of people because, as I said, your platform gave me the chance, and also JT Fox's speech in Amsterdam, his session I attended, that also gave me a lot of motivation.
Yes, I 100% agree. Um he is very present. I think him as a person, especially the way that he moves, the way that he carries himself. It's really, really powerful. Even though someone might not be, his entire posture, even if you scrap away the entire personality and who he is and what the amount of money that he has, if it's like a nobody and you put the nobody in his posture, every single person is gonna think this man has a lot going on for himself. And that is also something that I've been studying because especially women carry themselves as if they are less. And we're not. And the entire feminist movement where women are more important than men, I honestly do not believe in that. I believe men and women are equally valuable, and they are very different and have different skill sets, both of them. But women always, or not always, I'm generalizing here, but most times women carry themselves like they're less. Their head is down, they look down, they giggle a lot, especially when they're meeting new people where you don't really have to feel every past. Their shoulders are down, and basically all of these little things signal to the other person that you are worthless and that you're insecure. And even if they're not, that is a huge thing that, yeah, just takes away all of your authority. And with GT Fox, I believe he has a great posture, the way he moves his hands, and also his voice. It's very loud, louder than, well, the average person. And that just signals authority and makes him a great salesman, also.
Yes, and I completely agree with every word you said. So again, I was attending an event in Amsterdam, and there was this girl, right? She was dressed well, and when she spoke with so much authority, and she's like such a confident person. She gave those vibes to the people who were surrounded. So I ended up having dinner with her, and she told me that how nervous she was at that event, and she said that I'm an introvert person, and I'm quite nervous at events. And I was like, really? Because the impression I got before I started speaking with you was that, oh my God, she's such a confident and an impressive person, because she's speaking her words clearly. She is not stammering. For example, her shoulders are upright. She has a nice posture and everything. But she said that she has to do it because she works in an environment where it's mostly men dominated, so she has to have that image about her. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest motivators, because if a woman is in a male dominant environment, obviously she's gonna copy the people that are around her, because we all do. They always say, like, the five people that circle you, you're gonna be like them. If it's only men, you're gonna be like men, which is good in one sense, because you're gonna be talking louder, having a better posture, being more dominant, because men are usually more dominant. So those are all really good skills. What I personally was afraid of before I started all of this, and what I now hear from women that I am working with, they are afraid that if they become more manly and masculine, they're going to lose all of their femininity. And they don't want that, because they want to be wearing dresses and be feminine and have this sensuality around themselves, which is really amazing for women. But you also need masculine energy to sell and run your business, and you cannot break down every second. So it's like a balance between those two. And what I help people with, especially like business owners, is to switch it on and off. And if they're working a 9 to 5 in male dominated areas, then you can be very masculine on work. But when you can come home, you also need to switch it off in order to keep your sanity.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. So I was just thinking it must be so hard for this person I met, right? I mean, have that cold face and strong face all the time. And I don't know if I can ever do that, because, I am always smiley, I'm always friendly. And when I had a 9 to 5 job I've been working for 20 years before I started my own company. But I remember that when I was at Oracle in India, I people did not take me seriously because, one, I'm short. Second, I'm like very friendly and smiley all the time. And whenever I used to sit in a leadership meeting, I was always overlooked. So whenever I started speaking, someone else, a man, would take over the conversation, and then my voice would be shut, and then I would be like, it's okay, I don't want to, interfere. Now I've learned how to handle such situations. And now when anything like that happens, I'm like, I'm still speaking. you
Very
know
good.
that's like the perfect way to make sure that you're not rude, and perfect way to ensure that the other person shuts up. So I wish I had a coach like you that time, because in India there was no concept of coaches, and I don't know if still there is anyone coaching women how to deal with all this. But yeah, but I'm glad that everything is online, so anyone can participate in your program. When I had a 9 to 5 job for 20 years, I wanted to always quit, but I did not know how to, because I had a well paid job. and there was no guidance from anyone. It involved a lot of risks in my head. So I could never quit for 20 plus years until 3 years ago when I said, no, this is enough. I'm sure there are people like me, many people like me who do not know how to quit, when to quit, if to quit or not, because we know a lot of people are also quite comfortable with their 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah. Okay, understood. So I'm not a business coach, but I can tell from my experience, there are two ways. One, what I did is basically your path. So I had a 9 to 5, I quit everything, cold turkey, went into business and just winged it until it worked, which is really good. However, it is the way more riskiest part, because what if it doesn't work? That's always playing in your head. What if I fail? You go through a lot of anxiety, a lot of insecurity, a lot of breakdowns. And I remember in our past podcast, you also told me that you had some nights where you just break down and cry on your pillow. Well, I had many of those. It was awful. But eventually, when it worked, it's amazing. So it's like a whole, basically like an onion. You're peeling the old layers of yourself, and then boom, there's the new you. So that's amazing. There is a second path that I heard from one of my mentors, and she told me you can also work alongside your 9 to 5 and just build your business up slowly. The path is longer, but it's way more secure and it has way less anxiety. So you're just gonna learn everything. You're gonna reach out to clients. You're gonna find people. And I believe the most important thing in all of this is that you are still in the 9 to 5. So you're probably surrounded by many people and you can train on them, because in a business you need to sell, you need to be really authoritative, you need to be really dominant at times, and you really need to be social and communicative and go for it. And if you are not all of those things in your business, in your 9 to 5 right now, and you're sitting in a meeting and people talk over you and you're like, let's just let it go, I don't care. But if that is all happening, you're gonna have a really hard time in business, because you have to relearn all of these things. So to someone listening right now, I would tell her, practice in your job, write down responses you can do. For example, if someone talks over you and they're sitting next to you, touch their arm and say, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm still speaking. And if you want to be way more assertive, skip the sorry. But some people, especially some women I work with, they feel really awkward and they want to say like something like, excuse me, or it makes it easier sometimes. And practice all of these little things and write down a list where you're struggling right now. How do people treat you? And then next to how people treat you, ask yourself, why do they treat me like this? Am I more silent? Do I look down? How's my posture? When someone insults me or makes a joke about me, do I laugh, even though I don't find it any bit of funny? Do I get bullied, and why? Or am I the, how do you say, pick points, right? For everyone in the office. And if that's the case, search on Google or my social media how to deal with that, and train on your job. And if you're doing really, really well, then you're going to have such an easier time in business. So I would suggest to work on your business while you still have your 9 to 5. And when you make money that you can cover your expenses, get out and focus.
That's wonderful advice, Azadá. I have your Instagram account, so I'm going to definitely tag your Instagram in the description below. But is there any other way people can get in touch with you?
Yes. So depending on your situation, you can send me a DM and explain a little bit what you're struggling with and why you think that is. And then we will go further. We will plan a call, and I am going to see if I'm able to help you and your specific situation. If you are in the Netherlands currently, where I am, what I do with some people that are still here, I meet up one-on-one, because I'm still able to, and it's way more cool and exciting. And then we're actually going out on the street and we're going to do stuff and challenges together. I've done it with a few women already, and I must say it's like so much more value for your money, because I'm going to pull you out of your comfort zone extremely, and your life is never going to be the same again. So if you're serious about change, then and you're living in the Netherlands, then send me a DM because we're gonna do it.
Okay, wow, lovely. So we are going to put your Instagram account. I think that's the best place for people to
Yeah.
find you. And looking forward to meeting you again, Azada. I won't be here in August when you arrive, but I'll be back in Penang next year in March. And I don't know if you'll be still here, but we'll see and coordinate. But it was lovely, lovely having you on our podcast. And I'll be in touch, Azada.
Thank you so much, Mona, and thank you for hosting me. It was an honor.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks for listening. This episode was sponsored by Bear Connect, an AI powered LinkedIn automation tool that helps you save hours every week. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you follow or subscribe and share it with at least one person who needs a reminder to follow their dream. See you next time.